Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about what to do when you win the lottery, and maybe what not to do if you win the lottery. Some do's and don'ts.
Put us on speed dial.
Something that hopefully everybody encounters once in their life, but not often people do. So this is a different kind of episode, I guess. But my name is Josh Nahosa. I'm an independent advisor representative for Swan at DFW. That stands for Sleep Well at Night, Dallas, Fort Worth. And I'm here with the man who does not know how to hang up and hang out because he is a newfangled teenager who's addicted to his phone. It is Hector Hinojosa.
Good morning.
Hector is a certified financial planner, which is the top mark in our industry. He has been doing this since 1993. He started Swan 11 plus years ago.
That's right.
And he's still wearing his headphones.
I'm not anymore.
So, as we talked about, we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts on what to do when you win the lottery. Somebody just won a lot of money from the Powerball, so that's what triggered this episode.
This whole thing, $1.8 billion was in a national lottery, and when I heard that, I thought, whoa, I didn't think they would get that big, but they got that big.
Yeah, so, but first, before we get into that, Hector has a news thing.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. We could even frame it as what companies have won the lottery among Texans as their favorite Texas-based companies. And I heard it. I thought that was fairly interesting, and I agreed with most of them, and I thought some were left out. But number 5, most favorite company that's based in Texas is Shiner Beer.
Yep.
Would have never guessed that. Number 4, we go to a lot, Whataburger.
Yep.
A staple. Number 3, I forget sometimes, Dr. Pepper, because everybody wants to be a pepper. I thought the number 2 was the most interesting, Buc-ee's. If you don't know what Buc-ee's is, it's a gas station on the road with clean bathrooms and everything in the world you'd ever want to buy.
Yeah.
It's a great supermarket. And then my favorite, Bluebell ice cream. Yeah. I thought that was just interesting. I don't know why. We didn't get H-E-B on there. We didn't get Texas Roadhouse. There's a lot of companies, Dell Computer. But I thought those 5 are very representative of what Texans like about Texas companies.
Yeah, I think Buc-ee's is like, not to get too deep into it, but it's like the original model for Cracker Barrel, which was originally a gas station and convenience shop that started selling food, and then they stopped the gas station part when they figured out that they were making
way more
so much money doing the other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but man, I'll tell you what, when we tried, I go to Houston, I got family in Houston, and go to Austin from time to time. We go from Buc-ee's to Buc-ee's, and so they've done something right: cheap gas, clean bathrooms, and food and snacks and barbecue pits and anything else you'd ever want in the history of the world.
Yeah. So, from that, hopefully you found that interesting.
I hope so.
Let's jump into some lottery winners. We're going to start with some statistics, I guess. Not everyone, believe it or not, wins the lottery. That was a study we spent a lot of money on. Not all of you will win the lottery.
That's right. But I looked up some stats. The lottery only came into Texas in 1992, May of 1992, as I was getting into this business. And back then it was only like 6 numbers. And so when they read the lottery winning number for this 1.8 billion, they had like 8 numbers. And some of them were double-digit numbers, and then you had to buy I don't know. I couldn't understand what they're doing. But we used to have 6 numbers. According to Google, 42% of Texans report playing the lottery at least one time in the last year. And so there's a lot of people trying.
And that's how the jackpots get to be so big, I believe.
Yeah, I think one of the most, the best statistical things I ever heard was, I forget where I was. I was on the UTA campus for something. Anyway, and the lottery had gotten to several $1 million back then. And the statistics, I think we were doing a workshop for professors. But anyway, he said, if you wait for the lottery to get big to buy a ticket, the odd, and I don't buy a ticket, the odds of us, if either one of us winning, is about the same. And I thought, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So, but statistics say if you win, believe it or not, a lot of people go bankrupt after winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
For some of us that are a little older and remember the Lucille Ball character in I Love Lucy, she won, I think, $500 on some game show in one of the episodes. And they said, what are you going to do with the money? She said, I'm going to buy a refrigerator, I'm going to buy a washer, and I'm going to buy a dryer, and I'm going to buy a new TV. And the guy said, oh, man, that's a lot to buy with $500. She said, yeah, $500 makes a lot of down payments for all of these things. So even she realized she couldn't buy them for cash. Yep. But somebody who's just come across a lot of money, by the way, inheritance people, sometimes that happens. They get a lot of money and they think it will last forever. And then you start spending money in a silly way. And, or you make some bad investments, or family members and friends will come to you with great business opportunities, and you start, and then if you're not careful, you go broke. Football players are the same. We heard this Sunday that a large percentage of football players, after they leave playing football, go bankrupt because they just don't know how to manage money.
Yeah, so perhaps this would be a good time to tell you to call us if you win the lottery, because we will help manage your money should that need arise. And our phone number and email address will be down in the description if you've found your way to us. I think it's an important myth, not important, but it's a myth that a lot of lottery winners are miserable, and that's not actually true. Mm-hmm. Many lottery winners say that their life satisfaction stuff goes up after winning the lottery, which is kind of the whole point of the lottery, I think, is to get your satisfaction to go up. I think that's thrown around sometimes on like, if you win the lottery, you actually become miserable, and that's not 100% true.
Well, but I think some of us would say that if you're a miserable poor, you could be miserable rich too.
Yeah.
So other things other than money will make us happy. But what money does is gives us a lot of choices. It makes a lot of things attainable. Mm-hmm. Trips you would be able to take, places to live where you would know. So you would hope that winning a large sum of money or inheriting a bunch sum of money would make your life better. And with a proper plan and a little bit of restraint, it can. And like what made this interesting is there was originally thought, we still don't know, one of those two tickets was bought in Texas, and originally the rumor had it that it was a freshman at the University of Texas. Some people were saying, man, so you just won $900 million and you're a freshman at UT. What do you do? And that's the question, right? Is what do you do? It turns out that may not be completely true, but that's what the original rumor was.
Yeah, so I guess, what should you do? Should you win the lottery?
Well, in Texas, there's the good news is you can stay anonymous. You don't have to declare it. You can contact the lottery office. I forget what the official name is, and tell them that you've got the ticket. Put the ticket in a safe deposit box first. Go to the bank, say, I need to put this in a super safe place, and then tell the lottery people that you want to stay anonymous. And it's not a bad idea to call either a financial planner or an attorney, and so that we can set things up so when the money comes in, and then have a really good conversation about what you want the money to do for you, not only in the short run but in the long run. And most of us, studies show that when we get big lump sums of money, the money gets spent really quick because we have no long-term goals and all short-term goals. Mm-hmm. So somebody that can, have you take a breath and then start thinking about long-term things, about your family, what you might want to do for kids and grandkids and stuff like that. I think you just need somebody who's been through that before.
Yeah.
And I think as we do estate taxes, my favorite story is John Kennedy was, I think, in his mid-40s when he was assassinated in Dallas. And in his inheritance, he'd only collected 40% of his inheritance because his dad felt like he wasn't mature enough to handle a lot of money. Mature enough to run the country, but not mature enough to get the Kennedy, his share of the Kennedy fortune. So that's what we do sometimes when we're thinking about leaving large sums of money, is having the money be doled out a little bit so you don't give a 25 or 35-year-old a check for a couple $1 million. And then you'll have the same thing that happens with, you're chancing the same thing that's happening with a lottery winner.
Yeah. I think this is going to sound familiar to those of you maybe that listen to the podcast a lot, but it's important to have a plan no matter what your situation is.
Right.
Whether that's you've won the lottery or, more likely, statistically, you haven't won the lottery. You want some long-term goals, and you want somebody that can help coach you through to get to those long-term goals and short-term goals and medium-term goals and all the goals that you may have.
Yeah, and the big thing is, when you win something like that, or when you have an inheritance, or, you sell a business or do those kind of things, a percentage of that is, you've earned it. Mm-hmm. We have a friend who sold a business and had a lot of money. We met him way after the fact. But I would like to think that he took some of that money and just spent stuff on today. Hey, let's buy a nicer house. And then you start thinking, okay, well, we got to put money away for the kids' college. And what about grandkids? And you started thinking, take care, have a little fun. Take care of you and your wife or your spouse first, then take care of your kids, and then take care of your grandkids. And then if you're charity-minded, make sure that you remember your church or whatever it is that you like giving money to, because taxes on that thing is going to be a lot.
So should you win the lottery, should you take the lump sum or annuitize, pay it out over time?
Well, up until recently, I was telling people, if that should happen, probably the annuitize over time. But I just read where a gentleman who won $5,000 a week from Publishers Clearinghouse got his check in January for $255,000, and then a few weeks later got a letter in the mail saying this will be your last check because we're filing for bankruptcy. So my thinking has changed a little. If they're offering you a lump sum, take the lump sum.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and then we'll figure out how to get that monthly income stream for you and be okay, because you don't want to take a chance on that company going broke or something happening to them. So yeah. So I guess if you guys have won the lottery, give us a call. If you haven't, give us a call. If you need if you're gonna win it next week, give us a call.
Yeah. If you're going to, if you have retirement questions, regardless of the context of your life, or college planning questions, or any financial questions, make sure to give us a call or an email. And the way that you can do that is, our phone number is 888-792-6339. That's 888-SWAN-DFW. And then our email address is info@swandfw.net. It's free to call. It's free to email. We're not trying to trick you.
There's no bait and switch here.
That's it. Just give us a call.
By the way, buying a lottery ticket every week is not your good retirement planning. So, anyway.
That's important. That's important to know.
That's right.
If you made it to the very end of the episode, make sure to give us a like, maybe subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow the page if you're on Facebook, rate us 5 stars if you're on Spotify. If you found us on the podcast section in Apple, rate us highly there too. I don't listen to podcasts there, but certainly you might have listened to podcasts there. So however it is you rate us there, make sure you do that. Send it to a friend. Yeah. And we'll catch you all later.
Thank you so much, and be blessed.
The preceding content is informational only and based on information available when created. It is not an offer or solicitation, nor is it tax or legal advice. It does not consider your financial circumstances and objectives and may not be suitable for you.